We've got Rajita Kulkarni, who's a 26/11 survivor and former director of the National Security Council Secretariat, Dr. Tara Kartha, joining us. Thank you so much for joining us. Ms. Kulkarni, to you first. As someone who's lived through the horrors of 26/11, how do you feel about the extradition of Tahawwur Rana? Does it bring a sense of closure, or is it more about ensuring that justice is served?
Yes, thank you, Parameshwarji, for having me on your panel today. And I must compliment you for a really excellent summary that your colleagues did in the last 10-15 minutes, covering different aspects of the critical importance of this extradition. I think this announcement of the extradition and the fact that Rana is going to land in India in a few hours is a very, very extraordinary achievement by our government. We have been at it in a very focused and strategic manner. It has taken 17 years, but we have reached this milestone today. And I think a big thanks are owed to Prime Minister Modi ji, to Jaishankar ji, to the Supreme Court of the United States, and of course to President Trump for ensuring that we all see this day today, not just for me personally or for the city of Mumbai. I think for our whole country, it's a deeply personal moment. It's a deeply personal milestone because the sovereignty of our nation was attacked when these terror attacks happened. In fact, Parameshwarji, some of the shots that you are showing on your screens are, one of them has me and my husband, Mr. Ajay Bagga, also running outside the Taj, trying to save our lives. I'm in a red dress, and to see this alive all over again brings back a flood of emotions. So I think this is a big step in the rung to justice, and for all the martyrs, all the victims, all those who sacrificed their lives, all survivors, families, and I think for the whole country, this is a huge day today. And I think what we need to do as a country is to ensure that we take these hard stands. We are not a pushover country. We are a top 5 economy of the world today. We will be a top 3 economy of the world. We are not a nobody. And we need to show the strength which we are showing. And I think it is a big milestone moment. It is deeply personal, of course, but I think for the nation, it is a big day.
Ma'am, for you as someone who's lived through the traumatic events of 26/11, along with your husband as well, what is the ultimate hope you have from this extradition of people like Tahawwur Rana? Is it simply justice, or is there something more that you seek for yourself and others who survived?
You know, Parameshwarji, in those few years, even prior to these terrorist attacks, the city of Mumbai saw a number of terror activities. And it is, of course, this last decade that we have seen a much more safer and secure India. Yes. So I think it is at 2 levels. One is this incident itself. It was not by no measure was it a small incident. You are showing the pictures of some of the service people who lost their lives, policemen, army personnel, NSG commandos, fire people. You know, I lived in the neighborhood, Parameshwarji, in that time, and some of the fire people who were regularly coming to our housing societies, I know some of them lost their lives. So this was a very big national attack. So I think it is at 2 levels. One is definitely justice has to be served for this incident, and then whatever will be the investigation and what we will extract out of the information that is available, past, present, and future, how we can use that to ensure that we protect our nation from any such future incidents. I think it will work at both. It should work at both these levels.
Indeed. Ma'am, we also are joined by Dr. Kartha at the moment. Dr. Kartha, how significant is Tahawwur Rana's extradition from a national security standpoint? Is this just symbolic, or is it likely to help crack open more about Lashkar's transnational network?
Oh, I think it's extremely symbolic. I'll tell you why. Because this man was the node for all conversations from Pakistan, which went to Headley. It went through Rana and then to Headley, because if it had come directly from Pakistan, we would have intercepted it. So he knows everything that went on. Those terrorists who did all this, their invisible supporter was Tahawwur Rana. He did the paperwork, he did the recce, he did everything. So this man knows every detail about this operation. Now, it could be that as intelligencies, you know a lot later, right? There was a lot of afterwards, not at that point of time. Later, you got to know a lot of more details. But now this is virtually a public trial. All this is going to come out to people watching, to people like the ma'am on the show who was a survivor. You can see exactly what went on. It's all out there for people to know.
Right.
So it is therefore in this is the first time we are seeing such an important terrorist being extradited, and this is due to Trump administration and to an extent, of course, the Biden administration. You see the U.S. court documents saying that we are refusing his extradition because we are allowing his extradition because terrorists everywhere should know that they will be accountable. That is what the U.S. judge said. The final Supreme Court. That's what his statement was.
Right.
So from a national security perspective, and saying that we will deliver on what so far has been, well, to be frank, mostly talk on international counterterrorism. That whole thing you had, global war on terrorism. You want to deliver on global war on terrorism or any kind of war on terrorism, you have to do this kind of cooperation.
What does this say, this entire extradition, what does this say about the maturity and reach of Indian intelligence and the diplomatic apparatus in pursuing long-pending terror cases?
I think it was formidable. It was actually formidable because this case has been going on for ages. You know that it's been, how many years now that he was caught in 2009. Since then, we've been trying to get him extradited. So there's been persistent, patient action by the diplomats, by our intelligences, by all these people to convince the court that he has to be brought back here. And finally, and if you really look at the court documents, what they've done is they've indicted him for the attempt. That was not even an attack. On the attempt on the Highlands Post in Denmark. They haven't touched him on the Mumbai attack. So that double jeopardy clause couldn't work. He was trying to, say that, I was already punished, therefore I can't be punished again. They've refused it. So there's been some very, very, very good cooperation.
Right. Ms. Kulkarni, so while we have discussed that the courts are focused on the legal aspects of the Havurana's extradition, as a survivor, how do you view the emotional and psychological aspects of such long-drawn legal battles?
Yeah.
Parmeshwarji, this is the fact that we have reached this milestone, I think shows, like Tara ma'am said, that our efforts have been formidable in these years. We see the news of the result, but what goes behind as efforts, consistently, persistently, we don't see that because that is never shared. So I think today is a day of gratitude. Today is a cathartic day. Definitely for Mumbai, it's a day of catharsis. I can say that. That weekend, it was a 3-day terror attack, 3.5 days. To have a city like Mumbai siege for 3.5 days is not a small matter. But this is the spirit of our city. It is the spirit of our nation. We are resilient. We have bounced back, and how. So I think it is a big catharsis for everybody. I personally know so many families. We lost friends, business associates. There were so many people who unfortunately survived but were kind of debilitated for life. So the stories are hundreds of stories. We
Absolutely.
Normally talk of how many people lost their lives, but there are hundreds of stories of those who survived, how their lives changed and how they were impacted. So I think it is a cathartic day. It is a day of gratitude.
Right, ma'am. And as we wrap, what does justice look like to you personally beyond the courtroom?
Parmeshwarji, I'm a deeply spiritual person. I, at a very subtle level, deep level, believe in the theory of karma. So I have deep faith in my heart that karma is served now, little later, or even little later. So that is my own personal belief. But as an Indian, I feel proud today that I am safe and secure, and my country, my government, and everybody at the helm is deeply concerned about the safety and security of all of us and as Indians, and have helped us see this day. So for me, it is a deeply personal belief that justice will be served in one way or the other. I'm an art of living teacher. I meditate, and Puja Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankar ji always says that life is long, and it will show us what we need to see. So that is my belief for sure.
Right, ma'am. And Dr. Kartha, as we wrap, what message would you say this extradition sends to states and individuals who support terrorism against India from foreign soil?
That it's time to take that, it's time to end the story. I mean, I think one of the reasons why we've been safe, let's be frank, is also the fact that the Balakot attacks took place. You sent a message out saying, we are not taking this anymore. So you kind of outgamed the whole Pakistan thing. Number two, the fact is, and I hope this, and I'm really saying this from, as again, another art of living follower, that I hope Pakistan takes this in a positive sense, that all the data that comes out, they should then follow it up with arrests and with data from their side. If they do that, then it's an exorcism for Pakistan itself. I don't think they'll do it, but nonetheless, one has hope, because this is out of 7 convicted, 5 are from Pakistan. Out of the 7 main, they're all Pakistan. This man himself, Rana, he said to Headley, and that intercept is there with the US, that the attacker should be given Pakistan's highest honor. This is the level of hatred this man has. So I am just sorry for him that is how you lived your life, in hatred. So for us, if we can, it is still a danger, because there will be an attempt to, get him. Might be attempts to sort of get this man out, that kind of thing, to get him free, hostage taking. So we have to be very, very vigilant in the future. So it's not over. It's only just beginning.
Right. Dr. Tara Kartha, thank you so much for joining us.